All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know this was unexpected. I did not schedule this. I'm just putting it out there now because I just felt like this was something that really needed to get out right away. Hello in the chat. Hello, Polo. Looks like everybody's coming in already. Look at all of you. Hey, what's up, Jaden Foley? Angela Swan. Crazy World of Normal Helen. Hello. Everybody, wow, you all get here quick. Fill up the room quick. Do me a favor. Hit the like. Oh, okay. Looks like, I guess Richie covered this. Well, Richie's kind of known for, he's known for chemtrails. I really hope that he made the connections that I did, because we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Let me come over here and say hi to you. I'm going to lower the music a little bit. How does everything sound? Does everything sound okay over there in the chat room? You hear me okay? You hear me good? I love you all too. Thank you for saying so. Hello, Inner Stillness. And everybody can hear me okay? You know, just a simple, yeah, we hear you. It's good. It's great. I love it. I love it. Wow, that's cool. I had a feeling when I saw Richie, when I saw his name in the chat, I come over here to say hi. I digress. He's a funny dude, man. He's a funny dude. I know that chemtrails, he's very passionate about that. It's one of the things that he's known for. So I'm kind of glad that he's on this. And yeah, I'll check out his show afterwards. Thanks for saying so in the chat room. This is interesting. I mean, look, I've done shows on chemtrails. It's not new, right? This stuff it's not new. You know what's new? What's new is the fact that they're now basically coming on out and saying, "Oh yeah, we approve. We're going to do it," right? As if this hasn't been going on for how many? I mean, this has been going on a long time. We know this, right? We're going to cover it in the show a little bit today. The stuff that they put in there, the lithium, the aluminum, the sulfur, from the carbon waste. Oh, my goodness. It's crazy to think that how many people were called crazy for talking about this. Meanwhile, you got monster wildfires that are sparking like this. There was just I was just watching on the news a wildfire, I guess in Arizona. It was a gender reveal. It was one of those things where you blow something up and it was going to be blue smoke, but they did it in the woods, and the guy was I guess he worked for like the Parks and Rec, or he worked for, I don't know, Homeland Security or something. He was involved with Border Patrol, and so he brought everybody out there and he shot this target that had some explosive in it, and it started a major horrible wildfire that just devoured, and you see the thing take off. I wish I had the footage of it. Check it out on online if you haven't. But there's also another huge wildfire right now in Australia. It's like never before been, and we know that what's been going on in California. And you wonder why, they're saying, these firefighters are saying again and again and again, they're saying things like, we've never seen anything like this, and it's just blowing up, and it's just getting out of control, and they don't really understand it. They don't quite understand it. I'm going to talk about a little bit of that, and perhaps maybe there's a connection. A lot of people say that there is. A lot of people say that they've been pumping this stuff into the air, and of course the trees are the natural filters, right? So they're going to breathe in all that carbon because they're mixing it with all this carbon waste, from we get into how toxic it is too. And well, now it's just it's the news. Here we go. Scientists say controversial plan to cool the planet is doable. Doable, I say. I want to address something, by the way. There's some people that leave little comments and say things like, climate change isn't real, it's not all man-made, and blah, blah, blah. I want to address that. Because it's, I mean, it certainly seems that way to me. It certainly seems that way to me. Over the last couple of years, when I was talking about how we're going to see an increase of all this stuff because it just makes sense. And it's like, last year was bad. Well, next year is going to be worse and worse and worse. But it's also happening on other planets. I've talked about this in a lot of videos, happening on other planets. So, perhaps it's not just something that's from our carbon footprint, but something that's, out there. Now, I know that there are people that would, disagree with me because they say that space isn't real. And that's, that's fine. It's fine, whatever you want to say. But, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I love my telescope. I get a kick out of looking at the space, and for me, it's real, at least. I don't know. And I believe in this system, this Planet X, this Nibiru system that's coming in. When I think that this is all, I've done how many shows on dark matter, and I just did that last week, and how many other shows about the exoplanets and how everything's kind of working together. Everything's it's all tied in to, maybe this is the reason why they've been spraying it, because they know that, they got to do something because the planet's going to get out of control. So now this has now become mainstream news. It's a doable thing. Here's an article right here. Okay, so the science here is in a certain respect straightforward. You dump sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. That's coal ash, just so you know. Coal ash. I don't know if you know anything about coal ash. It's a great way to get rid of it. It's a great way. Because it's super toxic, right? So what's the best way to get rid of it? You just pack it and just shoot it into the air and just, let it just fall on everything. Just fall on everything. That's been going on for a long time. This is horrible. It's horrible, and we're left in the lurch. They don't tell us nothing to see here. So, if you deploy a material at like 35,000 feet, they say, where the 737 flies, it rains back down in a few days because it's just being acted upon on gravity. So if you get it up there into the stratosphere, on the other hand, then it's aloft for about 18 months. So they're saying that you got to put it above, right? And it's going to reflect the light, and it's going to keep the planet from cooling. From heating up, not cooling. It's not going to cool it down. It's going to keep it from, heating up as fast as it is. It's not going to reverse anything, but that's the idea. But yet they don't know, because all the science says that it could be terrible. It could be terrible. And it also could be done on purpose. And we're going to get into whether or not that's the case. Because, if they've been pumping the air with lithium, which is highly combustible, and they've been doing this for a long time, and there's a big change to the environment on our planet. Everything's kind of going, it's a little wacky right now. You would think that maybe there's a connection. I don't know. I'm not saying there is. I know a lot of people are saying there is. I have no proof of this, but it just does seem sort of suspect, doesn't it? Right? It does to me, at least. And now you have these in Australia. Now, this was like when the news first came out, and it's interesting that I came to this chemtrail story just like literally maybe an hour before I did this show, because I was going to talk about a couple of things. I was going to talk about the fires, and I was going to tie in chemtrails to it, and I didn't have that little piece of information, which is just blows my mind how everything kind of falls into place. As I was, cleaning up, I was telling my daughter, I said, I don't know, the show's not there, it's not complete yet, so I was going to kind of wait till tomorrow till that last piece kind of fit in, but it fit in. I'm going to also talk about this crazy, there's a world seismic event that happened. Yeah, we're going to talk about this as well. It recently shook the earth, and no one felt it. So, and guess what? When this happened, it happened on 11/11/11, which would be 2018. 11/11. So there was this crazy seismic activity. It was it lasted for 20 minutes, and the entire earth shook like a huge earthquake, but not like a normal earthquake, because a normal earthquake, you have little high pitches and low pitches, and you have all these different waves. Think of the earth as a wave. There's a wave. That's what an earthquake is. It's called seismic activity. So there was this wave, but it was like a monotone. It was just like it was weird. And they're saying it's weird, and that's really what I was gonna lead with this, because I see some I see a connection to this and the wildfires, and also, of course, what else? Planet Nine. Okay, so you have this world seismic event happening, and then the final piece of the puzzle comes into view, where you have this document, a lengthy one, approved by 195 nations in the UN. And they were talking about, they had a lot of different ideas. And one was like, we're going to scrub the air from carbon. They're now making a big deal out of this, but this is something that they knew was coming. It's unavoidable, most likely. And greed, they don't. It doesn't make you think right, because you're not thinking of higher things. You're thinking of very carnal and terrible things. And when you think about only yourself, what you do is you create pain and chaos and hurt in the world. Especially if we're all connected, we're all linked. So it would be like me robbing from you if I somehow was doing things selfishly and I wasn't considering you, like dumping coal ash. Like, hey, how do we get rid of that? Oh, I got it. We're gonna put it up there. We're gonna spray it all over, even though it's terribly toxic. But we got to keep the bottom line. Or the other thing is, maybe they were doing this because they really are trying to keep the Earth from getting hotter, because they just can't tell us because they have more information, because they tell us the other information. They tell us that, like, now is the time where everybody can kind of wake up to a greater realization, which would be smart to do that, and to be prepared and get yourself and your house in order and everything else that I talk about. Get that all taken care of, so it's all checked off the list, and then you live a full, vibrant life, and you have faith in more. And then when the world starts to vibrate for 20 minutes straight and nobody catches on, nobody feels it, it's like kind of a wake-up call. And then when the world gets worse, that you have your faith rooted in something that actually is what they say is eternal, is infinite. It's not just this, it's just not the game, it's not the movie that we're the lead character in. But so look, we knew that it was going to come out. We knew that they were going to start talking about stratospheric aerosol injections as a way to do this. This is like the major focus, by the way. They had a lot of different ideas: ocean fertilization, they had marine cloud brightening, because of course the waters are dying, right? So many animals are dying. They just had I just read in India, 24 hippos just mysteriously the hippos are just dying for no apparent reason now. Wild, and interesting times. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to this. So it's a technique that basically mimics the effect of a volcano pumping gas into the sky. Turns it into aerosols, which reflects parts of the sun. So that if like an earthquake goes off, what's going to happen? It gets cold, and it blocks out the sun. It blocks out the sun. Everything. It's not smart to do. It's not smart to do, but they're doing it. They're doing it. Okay, so now here's the thing. So why is this important? Why should we concern ourselves with this? Why? Because nobody's asking questions. Like, why are these fires catching so quickly? Like, why? Why every year does it seem that it's like almost igniting? I mean, I know that there was video going around where it showed like explosions, and people were talking about direct energy weapons and all that. I'm not getting into any of that. I mean, I'm not going to get it because I don't know about all that stuff. I like Star Wars too, and I know that there's probably programs, and I know that they have this kind of I understand. But let's just focus on what we know. Like, we know that they're pumping stuff into the air. We know we've been doing it for a while. We also know, by their own admission, that lithium is, one of their key ingredients here. So this is NASA's site. I think they put this out last year. I don't remember. Trimethyl aluminum, lithium, and barium. I mean, you got to understand something about lithium, okay? You got to understand something about lithium. It is really... it's pretty flammable. This is Wikipedia. So this thing goes up quick. If you've ever seen it, and this is the reason why they put it into these, chemtrails, most likely, is because it is so combustible. Like when it reacts to the air, and especially when it reacts to water, it's almost like explosive, and it creates this, this gas, which is where you get these tracers that NASA's talking about. That now 195 UN nation states are saying, hey, we should start doing this. It's like face palm, right? Start. I live in Long Island. Are you kidding me? I can't tell you how many days I look up and there's a normal. We don't even know what normal clouds are anymore. Rare. It's rare. Lithium, super flammable. So do you think there's a connection? Do you think that the first ever catastrophic bushfire warning in Queensland, Australia, do you think it's the first ever? Do you think that maybe there's something going on? And you want to talk about, here's another thing, right? So if they say that by, the volcano and everything else, that somehow cools, like, is this like another technique? These massive fires. I don't know. There are a lot of conspiracies out there, right? A lot of theories. But I mean, when you've seen what people have done already to other people and what's going on in other parts of the world, and, the fact that, you could be a reporter and you be critical of somebody, and then it's like, everybody knows that you that you ordered the hit on this guy and he's murdered, and then, it's okay. Why not? Then Putin's meeting with him. That's happening too. Putin. A lot of reporters disappear there too, or get beat up or threatened. See, now that hasn't happened to me. I also don't consider myself like, the conspiracy news center. I think I just, I put it out there. I think it's important. Because I think while fires are burning out of control, and while marine life is, waning, and people are, more hooked on pain pills and vaping and whatever else, that, I don't know, perhaps maybe it's time for, people to wake up and say, hey, teach me the truth no matter what the cost. I want to know. So yeah, they're releasing this coal ash into the air. Okay, so is this a good idea? This is what they're talking about. And it's funny because releasing of coal ash was it was, oh no, we never did that. And then they admitted to it, right? Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Science here is, in a certain respect, straightforward. Dump sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere and it'll reflect the light back. SO2 is cheap and there's a lot available. Yeah, you know why there's a lot available? Because it's toxic. It's horrible. Toxic coal ash pollution in Illinois raises drinking water concerns. That was 7 hours ago. It's funny how all this stuff comes in, into play at the exact same time. Coal ash repositories of 22 operating in defunct coal plants in Illinois have contaminated groundwater and water bodies with toxic heavy metals and other elements at rates higher than the legal limits, in some cases exponentially. So according to a new analysis, it's toxic. 195 UN approved. Let's do it. Let's spray to cancer. Like, we know. I mean, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? But there's something else that's kind of, I think is important to note, is that while all this is going on, there's also a lot of crazy, mysterious things going on too. And a mysterious seismic wave that recently shook the earth. I'm going to come on over here. If anybody, got a lot of people watching. Thank you all. Hit the like button. You know that it helps. And make sure you leave a comment, share it around, all that jazz. If anybody has any more information, you want to throw it in there, I would be glad to share it without researching it first. Just putting it out there. It seems like there's something going on, right? It seems like the fact that they're now admitting to this, that's kind of a big deal, I would say. Kind of admitting to it, right? I don't know. Some arose just said she lost three, or he lost three relatives in 4 years due to cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Wow, that's, and we all deal with loss. My goodness, it really is it's a hard day for a lot of people. It's a hard day. Mr. Smith, Jacob, if there was ever a time for you to trust a total stranger, I think it's no. I would like to speak to you. Oh, well, I don't. Here, let me talk to people about that, because I get a lot of people that ask, they want to speak to me. I just, my time is so, but I mean, I have a full-time job. I mean, this doesn't, it helps with the bills, but it doesn't pay the bills. This is more of it's a passion project. I've been on here since 2008, and the fact that things have just taken off kind of according to plan, like I believed it would, is it's really cool, but it's, if you watch YouTube enough, you know that they like to censor information. I mean, even the show I did yesterday, like right when I uploaded it, was immediately demonetized and stifled, and it was inappropriate. And if you saw the show, right, it's not even close to inappropriate. Just because I put, I threatened Darwinism, Darwinism, which is it's so not even true. It's it just, and you look up in the sky and you're like, no, chemtrails aren't real. I mean, it can be frustrating, and I know that's why there are a lot of channels that are very passionate about that, and they put a lot of time and energy in that. And then the question is, well, what can we do about that? What can we do? It's strange. It's strange to be in on so many things that just seem so wrong, and not really know what you can do. And I think that's one of the reasons why I come on here and I just share this, is that this is the little bit that I can do. This is the little bit that I can do. And also, as I'm doing this, I'm also trying to get through to every single one of you that there is more. There's more to all this, and I think one of the reasons why I don't come on here and tell you exactly what you should believe and tell you what is absolutely the truth is because that's what everybody does. And the people that do this, if they're not showing love in return, they really probably don't know, we'll say, for lack of a better word, God. And I know that I sought more, and I knew there was more, and I did. That prayer that I say all the time, prayer to teach me the truth no matter what the cost. It's, there's a reason I do it, and I still do it to this day, because, you can easily get stuck in the belief that you know it all. I have a lot of great insight. It's true. You name any YouTuber that is, I know the Bible, put them on a show with me. This is something that I've studied and I'm passionate about my whole life. But I also know that it's the Spirit of God that gives the interpretation. It's not I can't tell you what things really mean. You have to find. I can't show you the matrix. You got to figure it out for yourself. It's kind of that kind of deal. So the way to do it is teach me the truth. That's why I can talk about all of this stuff and marvel when I get information like this, that there's a mysterious seismic wave that shakes the earth, and scientists can't explain it. So the earth completely, the whole earth, there was shook and it was in spurts, 17-second spurts, and it stopped like this. It's crazy. It went on for 20 minutes, and nobody felt it. Nobody felt it. All the machines, they calculated, but every human on the planet, just this one monotone seismic event that went on and on and on for 20 minutes. It's causing some concern, and it's getting a lot of people questioning, what was it? What was it? Let me pull this up. Let me talk about this. So this is exciting because, see, I was anticipating. I didn't tell anybody. I've done videos, some of my most popular videos are on the 1111, right? So, and the symbolism of the number 11, what it means, and why people see it. So I didn't come on here and tell everybody, but I really thought, I said, I think something truly amazing and truly spiritual and it's going to happen. And it happened on 11/11/2018. It happened, which I find just incredibly fascinating. On November 11th, earthquake sensors around the world picked up something very, very strange. A rippling seismic signal seeming to originate in the Indian Ocean. Seismologist Goran Ekstrom from Columbia University told Nat Geo, "I don't think I've seen anything like it." Now, they really, look, I read the entire article. I didn't clip it all because I just came on here relatively quickly. And they have a lot of theories as to what this is. But what is concerning to them is the fact that this happened. Look at the very bottom. The signal repeated every 17 seconds, lasting for about 20 minutes. So it was a signal. They called it a signal. It was a seismic signal. It was a one-note signal. It was like pressing that C on your piano, that bung. I don't have perfect pitch. Don't complain. So, and it just did that 17 seconds for 20 minutes. The whole earth. Nobody noticed. And I think that that's really why maybe I need to ramp up. Maybe I need to ramp up and share more stuff with you. Maybe I'll give you a little more credit. Because you worry sometimes that you there's a proverb that says that if somebody's ready, if you're ready for milk, your baby, you don't want to give them filet mignon. You gotta, So now you could talk to people about chemtrails because now 195 nations have decided that this is something that we should be doing. So there's that. But then the question becomes, what is this seismic event? And how does it relate to you and me, to all of us? I'm coming back into the chat again. And I think there's something to this. I don't think that these things happen for no reason at all. Okay, now Crazy World of Normal Helen says we hit 80 hertz on the Schumann this week. It's horrible, but we're out of it for now. Okay, so I don't know what that means. But it sounds pretty amazing. It sounds pretty amazing, pretty scary. I'm gonna have to look into that. See, this is the thing that I love about me being me, is I don't want anybody to think that I know everything, because I don't. My goodness, that's why I love to learn. So, what's up with the moon guys? Dana, aka Brad Pitt, the waxing, the waning. Yeah, the moon is weird. That's the truth. The moon has been acting weird, right? It looks weird. Now it looks, it's just, I've never seen it that way. There's a lot that's strange. If you're new to the channel, I hope you subscribe and you check out other videos. Usually I'm a lot more lively. I'm just tired because, I've been cleaning, getting ready for, the holidays, getting a lot of, just doing an awesome lot of shopping and saving money and couponing it, because I'm all about, making sure that when they send me those offers, I get them. I even have stuff in the Victoria's Secrets today, and I even had like an extra something just in case I didn't meet that, $125 mark, so that I could get that $40 off. You don't want to go in there at 120. You want to make sure you get them for everything, and even that free underwear. So anyway, Danielle, my life. She's beautiful. She's my life. She's my everything, and she likes to dress nice, and she takes care of herself. And I'm just a blessed man. I think that the world is being shook for a reason. And I think that the fact that a lot of people didn't feel it is a telltale sign that, maybe we should be looking a little bit deeper. Maybe we should be, maybe getting a little more vocal with love. You don't want to tell people, because look, I know the conversations, I have them where you're with people and they bring up the channel, right? And they're like, "Oh, what are you talking about today? You're talking about, dinosaurs, or monsters, AI. What are you talking about? Aliens?" Right, Jacob? Is that what you're talking about? Your Jesus stuff? I mean, it's like I get these comments from people all the time. And it's sad because I think to myself, I'm like, oh my God, how filled with fear and how filled with ego and how filled with this world they must be, because they've been programmed to not think about these things that can set us free. They've been programmed to just accept it. Pfft, chemtrails aren't real, you know? You wonder why everybody has asthma all of a sudden, right, in Long Island. It's like out of the blue. Last couple of years, my asthma's getting worse, you know? And then, you know what do? You try to combat it. You find other ways. There are things that you can do, by the way. There are things that you can do besides, just going to the doctor and the doctor telling you got to take this medicine and this medicine and this medicine. We can make things worse. You should always look for a natural path first. I've, Crohn's disease, ankylosing spondylitis. I've been sick. I've had surgeries, been in and out of the hospital. I've, almost died, blood transfusions, constant pain. But there are natural ways to do things. I mean, the wonderful thing about the internet is there's so much information available to all of you. The problem is nobody's looking. You want to be told. You want to be told what to think. You want to be told what to do. You want to be told what to take. You got this problem, right? They say, this is your diagnosis, and then you believe it, and then you manifest it in your life, right? As opposed to, this is your diagnosis, and then you say, okay, well, maybe how do I change the symptoms? What's the root of the cause? What can I do? Maybe I should stop this. Maybe I should start this. This is the thing, people, is that we need to take ownership of our life again. We need to take ownership of our life again, of our relationships again. We need to take responsibility. And this is my friend Griff. I'm gonna put him on speaker because he's like a very famous radio guy. Hey, what's up, Griff? How you doing, man? You're on you're on
where you live at?
Oh, well, hang on a second, man. I just want to let you know I'm doing a live stream right now, so you're on speaker. I live in Long Island, so maybe I'll just have to have this conversation with you in a second. Hang on. Hang on a second. Say hi to everybody, though, Griff. Say hi to everybody.
What's cracking, y'all? This human being right here out of 7.2 billion of them on this planet of ours is in my top 10. Easy.
Thank you.
I love him, too. All right, James, text me, man.
Hey, where can everybody check you out, Griff?
You can go to @2trillion on everything. That's my website. That's my everything. The number 2 and the word trillion.com, 2 trillion, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. I love you, homie.
Love you, man. Talk to you soon. Be good.
All right.
Comedian of the year, that guy. Yeah, it's amazing. And we both, there's a great story with us. I'll tell you, want to talk about like faith. He's lost everything. At the same time, I lost everything. We were doing a project together called Thunderbox. I was the writer and producer of it, and he was kind of the host of the show. And it's going to air on BET, Telemundo, Fox Sports, and it was a pretty cool show. And I was in charge of it. And he and I became friends, but we both went through so much. It was like things just come into your life and they just rip you out of it. And they say, you can't have your comfort here anymore. You have to have your comfort, and even back when I knew Griff, I mean, we're talking, this is going back years, but I always told him one day, and he always said one day, because what we were seeing the end from the beginning. We had a desire that was put in our heart to share. He shares faith all the time. He's he's like a big Christian like radio guy, and he's awesome. And he's constantly seeking more and calling me up, and I'm constantly seeking more. And see, that's the thing, is that there aren't a lot of people that are seeking more. A lot of people are just kind of going about. They don't realize the incredible power that's been given to all of us. This thing called life, this Christ in you, this, what I'm always talking about, this hope of glory. But you're never going to find it. You're never going to find it if A, you don't ask and seek, and B, you don't think it's possible that you're more than the people that are spraying lithium, barium, aluminum, and coal ash, toxic coal ash all over all of us. Sad, really sad. Listen, everybody, I love you all. I'm going to come to the chat. I'm just going to say goodbye. Let me pull up a picture of me. This is one of my favorites. One of my buddies on here did this for me and sent it over. I'm not, oh, look at that in the super chat. Polo. Oh, man, that's the best. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Yes, the way, the truth, and the life. He said that that's what he was. And the way, the truth, and the life was put to death at a place called Golgotha. The way to a true life, the way to truly living your life was put to death at a place called Golgotha, which in the Hebrew tongue means the place of the skull. Isn't that interesting? Oh, hang on a second. Somebody's saying that I'm white Satan. I'm going to show that. I hope it's not me. I hope it's like, maybe that's like a rock group. And, well, I hope it's not me. When people give me they attack me and stuff, when that happens, I'm cool with it. I actually, you'll probably notice in the comment section, I'll take some time. If I think that, maybe the person's having a hard time right now. And then they come on to see me and Dave Bryant, stratospheric aerosol injections, chemtrails are meant to terraform the planet. I got to tell you about the terraforming, man. Dave, I think you're on the money with that one. That's the thing. The terraforming is the thing, man. And why, see, once again, wouldn't that be just the way? If you got another system coming in? I mean, wouldn't you do it? It's like it was in the movies. We've all been programmed to, I'm not saying that's happening, but, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Patrick Bellemere says smart dust, nanotech. Yeah, that could be. Could be. Once again, I don't know. I don't know. I love you too, Gem. I love you, Tribulation. I don't think I'm getting prideful. I hope it's not me. Maybe you're talking about somebody else. And Marguerite says, Jacob, you are love. Namaste. Oh, well, you are love too. I mean, I got to tell you something. Listen, I'm not one of those guys that kind of just accepts things as they are. It's like I'm one of those guys that I'm constantly seeking and constantly thinking more. And I've actually been the last couple of days. I want to really make sure that I'm doing this right, because, when you're given this platform, you have a responsibility and you have to understand, why are you doing this? Am I just doing this to just get the views? Am I doing it to get subs? Because I did this since 2008 where I made no money. And then just because of all the things that happened, all that crazy stuff that happened that just got me to do that one video on that one thing, and then it takes off, and then the rest of the world starts to get to know me. And even though I wrote about it years ago saying that one day it would happen, because I saw the end from the beginning, because I felt like God had placed like a desire in my heart. That's the reason why I became the head writer. How does that happen? Guy from nothing. How do I become the head writer for World Wrestling? How do I stand toe-to-toe for 2 years on the same plane with Vince McMahon, talking to him, reading the Bible on the plane, and getting them all ornery, which is weird. How does that happen? How do I then become the head writer of the largest, the fastest growing Christian network in the world, and then get to, once again, also speak my piece? And then just believe that one day, I'll humble myself. How do I lose everything again and again and again, and then always regain it? How does that happen? It's because everything that happens in my life, I take as it's meant to happen for me. For one reason or another, I'm not the victim. There's something that I did, that needs to be course corrected. It's kind of like if you're walking down the right path, you don't get shocked. But if you kind of steer off case, you get shocked back on course. And that's the thing. Every shepherd needs a sheepdog, right? So you got that sheepdog always there, going to bite you, going to accuse you, going to tear you down, call you terrible things, get you to question, what are you really doing this for? Because I love it. I love it, and I love all of you. And because I believe it's important, and I know that what I'm doing here is what I was always meant to do. And I'm grateful, and I hope that something that I share, gets you to understand that my life and how I've lived it and how I've understood it to be, it's the same for you. With faith, all things are possible. Just the question is, what are you putting your faith in? Because if you're not loving others, you're not loving God, right? If you're not loving others, how can you have love in your life? Especially if this world is like a garden and the words that we speak are the seeds that we sow. And I hope that the things that I sow here, I hope they don't get you all freaking out about, you know, the chemtrails and the this and the that. And I hope that instead it gets you to say, hey, maybe we should collectively say, no more of this. maybe we can collectively change this world. Maybe the power of faith that is within us, that's been endued on high within us, we're supposed to wait for. We're supposed to wait for that power to be given from on high. In other words, that inspiration, that truth, that life, that hope, that power, that one day you will have a YouTube channel that reaches a lot of people, not just 100,000 or 112,000, but 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. The question is, will it be the same reason at that point as it is right now? And I've done some soul searching. Yeah, pretty much, because I love it and I love you. And I will talk to you all soon. I hope you do share it around, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel. And of course, I got to thank my the patrons. All, you know, you're all great, you know, and I appreciate it. And I share these little hidden videos. I hope you check them out. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. And I'm not going to stop blowing kisses. I know that some guys have a problem with that. Yeah, get over it. Get over it. It's what they call a holy kiss. Greet them with a holy kiss. That's what